Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
We think the Houthi Ansarallah is doing what Houthi fucking bloodthirsty, violent pig dogs. Why am I held accountable? God forbid you throw up the fucking green Hamas banner.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm cooked.
Happy birthday from Twitch, Hassan. Happy birthday from Twitch.
So far, so good. Prologue. Why am I making this?
Oh, hi there.
That's me. He's watching me play Marvel Rivals in the background. Okay,
me,
cool.
your old friend, Ethan Klein. It's been a while since we've last spoken. In that time, I've had 3 kids, all boys. I've lost 100 pounds, and I've pissed off 75% of the internet. Probably a lot of you guys too. Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas. Someone should bomb. Oh yeah, and I got a tattoo also, so I'm cool like that now. Left or right, I always thought that despite our differences, there was one thing we could all agree on. And what was that? That we love America and everything she stands for.
Mom and Dad and apple pie.
Sure, there's plenty to criticize and endless things to improve, but I thought it was about making a more perfect union, not tearing it down.
And marching bands, a pride that only
The thing is, there's something kind of scary brewing in America. Communism.
That's America. That's America to me.
I started a show a couple of years ago with my acquaintance, Hassan Piker. You might remember him from...
Yeah, by the way, I do want to point out something here. This is January 31st, 2025 was when this video was released. January 31st, 2025. Yeah, I disliked it. I ripped it. I ripped it already. Got to do it. Got to do it for the one time. There was something brewing in the United States of America at that point. Do you want to know why I say this? I point out the date. Because the thing that was brewing in America was not communism. I know he's trying to make a joke, right? He's, I think, trying to make a joke. But we were already deep into the insanity of the Donald Trump Burger Reich administration. At this point, I was in Japan, escaping the fascist administration rising to power. But at this point, it had been 11 days since Elon Musk had dropped the Sig Heil twice at inauguration. Okay? We're 11 days into Donald Trump. And the reason why I point this out is because I suspect, regardless of the fact that I didn't watch the context nuke, but I am very familiar with Ethan's commentary on the matter. The reason why I mention this is because Ethan has a lot of issues with figuring out his priorities, because a lot of what Ethan talks about in this video are values that he cares about, values that he wants to defend. Like, he's a fighter against anti-Semitism. He's a fighter against like right-wing attitudes and things like that. He's a fighter against extremism on all sides. And yet, it feels like what he chooses to spend his time on betrays that idea, betrays that value, that first principle that he's operating off of. Because if you're freaking out about anti-Semitism on the rise, I would assume that you probably wouldn't make an entire video and use your previously unused platform to attack your former podcast co-host who you knew was not an anti-Semite, and you, I think, still know is not an anti-Semite, but sometimes you go back and forth on it. And I know his response always is he can care about two things at once. Yes, but the thing that he's caring about is bullshit. And I think my response to this is going to explain to you exactly why the thing that he ostensibly cares about with respect to me, okay, or all the other people that he brings up in this context nuke is ridiculous. Especially because whenever Ethan says, I can care about two things at once, well, he certainly doesn't talk about the other thing that he's supposed to care about. If Ethan says, I care about the genocide, for example, and then spends every waking moment talking about those who speak out against said genocide, then it's kind of hard for people to go along with this ridiculous narrative that he actually cares about the genocide.
Such classics as
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it. Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers in a video game. Sorry. Holy shit.
That's not what I said, you dumb cracker bitch.
and of course, the Leftovers podcast, which was our show, which we made broadly to goof on the antics of the right. Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
There is Ethan Klein being a delightful human being.
I was just going to say, if there's another Holocaust, if they start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets...
Okay, the Seinfeld references are stale, man. But that's an aesthetic note.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And we went on making the show.
Okay, right off the rip, let me get started by saying I have failed. I'm a failure. The reason why I have failed is because the Leftovers podcast was supposed to be a podcast where this man, who I thought at the time was an open-minded, empathetic, kind person, who was interested in learning, was on his own journey of learning, was supposed to be the goofs and gaffs guy, and I was supposed to be the guy that gives them, the meat and the bones. I was supposed to be the information guy. He's the goofs and gaffs guy. We clown on the right, and we educate the audience as Ethan himself is getting educated by politics. But it seems like I failed on that educational aspect, considering that his analysis right off the rip is, well, he's a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. What does this mean?
What
does this mean?
Supports basic things. And
left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things? Okay.
We went on making the show for about 2 years, and everything was good. Everyone was having fun. The audience was having fun. No problem. That was until this happened.
We were doing our regular show, and for the first time I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was.
Ethan Klein did not know what social democrats are or what that represents, by the way, before Leftovers. And I suspect he might still not know what being a social democrat is, even at this point. But let's continue.
I don't hate the idea of like people who can be successful. I think it's good that people can achieve success in the term monetary success. I mean, that's what that means, right? I do. There's nothing.
I am not a hater of success. I myself am financially very successful. One of the largest points of contention with my existence from many right-wingers is that, you're a socialist, but you have money. How does that happen? So clearly, I don't take issue with that. There is no disagreement there.
Wrong with that?
Because I see so many people in the chat saying no.
I don't know what y'all are tripping about. Like, what the fuck do you want?
What is the idea that
you guys
people are looking for?
You guys are all like radical communists? There's that many radical communists? Suck it, chat. You're watching a capitalist pig. Deal with it.
And then this happened.
This comment from Hassan really started to sound some alarms in my head.
If you're in a socialist country with multiple parties, and one of the parties is a capitalist party, which would surely